we're revamping our ordinances. They so outdated. They got, if you spit on the sidewalk, you're going to jail. For real. But you got to think, back in the day, they dipped snuff and chewed tobacco.
Yeah, I was going to take a backtrack here. I'm like, did you just say spit on the sidewalk?
Oh, my God. They had all kind of ludicrous things.
Welcome to the AERO Atlanta podcast. I am Shannon James, your president and CEO. And this podcast is brought to you today by our good friends at the Development Authority of Clayton County, who continue to be supporters since day one of the AERO. And today we have a very, very special treat for you. The great mayor of Riverdale, Dr. Evelyn Dixon. Thank you, Dr. Dixon. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. No, it's my pleasure to have you here. So before we jump into it, Mayor, I know you're a pro at this, and you've done this probably a gazillion times. And so for those of you or our listeners out there who may not be familiar with who you are and what you do specifically, help our listeners understand about Dr. Dixon, right? Who you are, the woman, right? The person, your background, where you're from. Let our listeners know who you are.
Well, it's simple. I'm a native Atlantean, 70 years now, and I grew up in segregation, riding the back of the bus, going into stores on the side, just all the atrocities that came along in segregation.
Wow.
And when we overcame it and knowing Dr. King and marching with him, he instilled a pride in us. But the greatest catalyst was we had held God to the highest in church. We were so procreational back then. And that's who I am from that era, knowing that I'm better than that. I can be whatever I want to be.
That's right.
Instilling pride, not only in wanting to desire to get a good job, but me as a woman, so I could be respected. And knowing that I don't have to be naked to get somebody to look at me. Just be me.
I hear you, man.
And let the aura of God come out, and it'll happen. But at one time, I was a very, very, very slim young lady. Believe it or not, a size 5 is up under this.
Ooh, I know it.
But life has a propensity to make changes. And that's why I like doing programs like this, is because I had to learn how bad did I want it, that I want to make a change. What did I want my resume to look like? That's right. And I had to learn to like that because I got pregnant in college, had to come home in shame because then you were we had scruples.
What?
We had scruples back then, and you had to suffer the consequences of your actions. Now, anything goes, even from Washington down.
Oh, that's the truth.
I ain't gonna call nobody's name.
Don't put them out there.
But I know you know. But all the things that I grew up with in my younger years made me who I am, to be a decent mother, to make sure that I get an education, and to learn significantly, nobody owe me nothing. A man don't work, don't eat. And people treat you the way you allow them to. I had to learn not to walk subservient with my head down. Look a man in the eye.
That's right.
And my mama was part Cherokee, and my dad is Afro-American. So I learned from two cultures.
Yes, you did.
That faith, grace, and mercy will get you everything you need. And favor will open doors that money can't open. So that's about me, and I wanted to be a good mother. And my husband left when my baby was 6 weeks old in a body cast.
Oh, my goodness.
So I got evicted. I was living in a car with my 4 children, and I went to live with my sister on a mattress. Give me 2 more minutes and I can sum this up. It's
all the time you need, Mayor.
Well, then my sister let me sleep on her floor on a mattress, my 4 kids and I. Then I managed to get an old government apartment that had waltz rats big as cats, and that same mattress. And my dad put tin cans to the holes to keep the rats off my baby. I had 1 card table. That's all I had. So being on programs like this to let people know that your circumstances don't make you. Mm-hmm. Your zip code don't. Mm-hmm. You can be what you want to be. And out of that, I used to ask God, what did I ever do to anybody to deserve this? And my answer from him was, later in life, not then, was that I had to have a testimony to tell somebody. I slept with the rats. I used to walk from Georgia State to Cleveland Avenue. How bad did I want my education? When I was going to college, I decided when I tried to commit suicide, being ignorant. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share this with somebody who it might help.
That's right.
Is that I thought life was over. And being naive and young, I had a little nickel policies, as we used to say back in the day. You pay on them a lifetime and you only get $500.
Oh, I remember hearing about those nickel policies.
And I was going to kill myself. And back then, 75 had 2 lanes on each side. And I went to jump off the Prior Street Bridge.
Oh, my goodness.
To kill myself. But luckily, thank God.
Thank God.
I thank God that when I looked down the highway, I saw that tractor-trailer truck coming. I said, I ain't gonna be able to do this. I ain't gonna be able.
No,
And I went home, took Bear aspirin because we didn't have Tylenol then. Had a gun, no bullets, cut my wrist, this scar right here. I saw that blood, I couldn't do it. So I had no choice but to live. But I had a secret place I went to, so I suggest to anybody that hear me today, get you a secret place. Get your music or whatever, so you can talk to God or whoever you believe in. That's what works for me. So then learning from Dr. King and everything, education and what I heard, I went to my ex-mother-in-law, got 75 cents, because bus fare wasn't but 25 cents.
Quarter.
And I went to nursing school, then got me a Section 8 apartment. And so from there now I went to Atlanta Metropolitan College.
Okay.
And got favor there, graduated in a year and a half. Back then, you could take 4 classes. That's an overload for $400. Now, one class is $400. Thank God for the oldies.
That's right.
Then I went to Georgia State. Then I went to University of Georgia. And then I went to Hamilton and got my PhD. But what I want people to know, that even in the midst of that, moving forward, I had some hard times and some good times. But I learned how to cope, talk to my children and tell them this is how life is, but this is what you do, how to make it. So I'm just saying today that if anybody hear me, I have a story I could tell you that I came from the rats to going to Washington, D.C., meeting the presidents, Nancy Pelosi, speaking in Washington, got more awards. President Obama, humanitarian doctorate thing. I got so many awards and things, it don't make no sense. But none of that is important.
Right.
So that's enough about me. I ain't got no husband, but that's cool.
But you know what? You just gave some profound statements just then. I hope our listeners, I hope our viewers was able to really take in what you just stated, because I think you just laid, at least to me, a foundation for someone who may need to hear that, right? That word, that encouragement, because I think you've really illustrated the ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep on walking. Because a lot of us, go through that. We all have our own stories. Some are worse or maybe tougher than others. But the important thing is getting back up, right? And I think you now illustrate probably the epitome of getting back up. You're the mayor of Riverdale. I mean, for a long time. And you continue, I think, to uplift people. And that's why we wanted to make sure people heard your voice today and your message. And I think you just said a lot of good things, but I would love for our listeners to hear maybe something you didn't say. What is something about Mayor Dixon that most people don't know that you didn't just articulate today that you would like for them to know about you, and maybe how you even got to this role, this opportunity to lead people in a great city in Clayton County?
It is absolutely weird. I never had an aspiration to be in government. I thought everybody in government were crooks.
Really?
Yeah, baby.
A lot of people think that way.
I did. I did, because we were seeing a lot on the news.
Right.
and you get gullible to the news. And I had to learn what you see ain't what you see all the time.
You were drinking Kool-Aid. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But what they need to know about me, I was in my class, in my office, and I worked in neurology. And the head nurse, Miss Loretta Taylor, I'm using her name because she doesn't mind, came to me and said, I had a dream about you last night. You was in the book with Bethune-Cookman and Coretta Scott. I said, girl, you don't bump your head. You better get out of here.
Put
and
you out there
laugh.
with Bethune and Coretta.
Yeah, and she started to cry. And I said, oh, Lord. And I felt convicted. I said, I ain't going to laugh
Tears
at that.
came down, showed it was real.
Yeah, and the next day she came back and said, Dr. Dixon, I had that dream again. And it was even more vivid that I saw you with great people. I said, who they were, girl? Tell me. Using dialect. And next thing I know, I went to church that Sunday, and my former pastor said to me, stand up, Evelyn, stand up. He said, God just told me before the end of the year, you're going to be mayor. I'm like, okay, Lord, what you trying to tell me?
Right.
And some citizens came to me and said, you volunteered in the community so long and hard. We want you to run for mayor. I say, for real? And then it started to take hold in my spirit.
That's a powerful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm saying, Lord, what you want me to be?
Mm-hmm.
What you want me to do? I went and got with my family and my pastors, and we prayed and talked about it. And I promised God, if you allow me to be mayor of a great city, I'll make my life a magnificent obsession, trying to help those like me.
That's right.
Tell them it ain't about the title. I've been on newsreel with Dooley and everybody that did stories on me on NBC News. It wasn't about that. I want somebody to be helped. I wanted to change the aesthetics and the lifestyle of Riverdale to make it who said we had to live like that.
Right.
Because we were in that zip code. And that's what he's allowing me to do. And
Every day.
Every day. And I had a sweatless victory. I ran my campaign for $2,139. That's
wow.
right. I didn't take nothing, a donation from nobody.
Wow.
And ever since I've been in
I hope
office,
they heard that, right?
I did. You know why?
$21.39.
Because when I first ran for mayor, he's deceased now, a gentleman said to me, I'll give you $5,000. Let me pick your judges, let me do this and let me do that. And my spirit cringed. I said, let me go to the bathroom. I got to go pray. I came back there and said, sir, if you give me that money, then I really ain't depending on God to show me his grace and mercy and favor for a victory. And he did that.
Yes,
and
he
I
did.
won.
He did that.
And they had a big party, state representatives. The amazing thing to me, I don't feel like a mayor. I don't feel like when people see me, Marilyn, I say, girl, please. I'm Evelyn.
That's humility. And I remember that from the first day I met you. I mean, it's been like that since day one I met you.
I can't do that. If I don't stay humble, just as quick as he gave it to me, he can take it away.
No question about it. Just like that. But speaking of that mayoral role, help our listeners understand, Mayor Dixon, what is your day-to-day? What is it that, you're tasked with doing under your capacity as a mayor?
Making sure we have economic growth, a clean city. Safety is a huge issue. I'm happy to say the FBI gave us a good rating. It's not perfect, but I'm the mayor of the City of Riverdale. So a lot of other crime that goes on in the county, that's not me.
Right.
The biggest crime we have is larceny, where they go into Walmart and put their dirty shoes in a clean shoe box and walk out.
Switcheroo.
But making sure families are bonding. We do now what we have movies in the park during the summer. The only way you get in, you got to bring an auntie, uncle, somebody, some adult, and it's free. And we have free popcorn and everything. Couple of things I like that we really done that I'm very proud of is in Christmas, you got to come and see it. we are so beautiful. We have all the lights and everything. We have a parade. We have an ice skating thing we rent and do. We have all the schools in my city to come out and perform, performance and concerts. We have women's attitude for where men who was reared or women by their aunties, their mamas or daddies, we come out, we put a free concert and brunch on.
Nice.
And I have my favorite is my women's History Month program. That's why I go get to the homeless shelters or wives and people who are despaired. Come out. I raise that money myself. I do not use the city money to put on this brunch.
Wow.
I raise pretty close to $7,000 to $8,000 a year.
Wow.
I have excellent entertainment, free brunch, and I invite people like myself, doctors, lawyers, everybody. We got one judge in Clayton County who don't mind me saying her name, Superior Court, Dallas. She had 5 children and was homeless, and now she a judge, Superior Court.
Superior Court.
And see, we try to let them know you ain't got to be Beyonce. I ain't got nothing against her. Because she got that pretty shape. I ain't jealous.
I ain't now Beehive listening now. Be careful, be careful.
But I need you to know that you can do more than that. It ain't what you make, it's what you do.
That's right.
With what you make. And don't try to live outside. If you know you got a gremlin money, don't go get a Mercedes.
Live within your means, right?
And then teach your children. Discipline your children. If they don't, them streets gonna get them.
Yeah, one way or the other, right? Rather get them at home than the streets.
My goal is that what they call me now at Riverdale, they call me the mama of Riverdale. I speak and hug and talk to everybody. If other people call me who are not in my city, disgruntled, need help, I'll tell them where to go and what to do. We were not elected for the people to serve us.
Right.
We're to serve them. And I think that's where the misconception come in.
You know, speaking of serving the people, I know that you and council have objectives for the year. I'm not sure if safety is one of them, and I know economic development is. Can you help our listeners better understand some of the key objectives both you and council have for 2019, even 2020?
Well, one thing that's already done, we have a balanced budget.
Awesome. That's big time. Hey,
with a nice
ring the bell on that
surplus,
one.
yes. And we have a savings for where Delta now may come back and tax each city. We have our proceeds in that. I won't say the amount, but we have those put up. We have the amphitheater, and we're using it more. And some of my projections right now is in conjunction with the council, we're revamping our ordinances. They so outdated. They got, if you spit on the sidewalk, you're going to jail. For real. But you got to think, back in the day, they dipped snuff and chewed tobacco.
Yeah, I was going to take a backtrack here. I'm like, did you just say spit on the sidewalk?
Oh, my God. They had all kind of ludicrous things.
Goodness.
We're revamping those, and that's huge.
That is huge.
We're trying to expand, doing more with the business community, with the business coalition, and offering them perks and doing things. The biggest problem for me is that I'm landlocked.
I remember talking about that.
We're only 4.5 miles big. And so even though a lot of businesses want to come, they can come and build it, but I don't have ample parking. So we may try to do some annexation later on to try to help us in that endeavor. You hear me, Jeff?
I was about to say, I know Chairman listening closely to that one, right?
But we are doing that. But the last thing I want to tell you is I'm working with some people in the community. We just had a free SAT, ACT course on a Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And working with some other people who really initiated, and I partnered with them and we worked it, is tutoring. We had an all-day thing and gave them the books, those thick books that's $25.
Oh, yeah.
And we had about 40 people there.
I remember those days.
And August the 10th, I think it is, I'm not for sure, this will be our 3rd rodeo. where we have every university, college, or technical school come to the city in our gym. They bring their financial director, admissions director, and admit the kids on the spot if they bring they sealed
Oh, wow.
registered things.
That's a big deal.
And they get scholarships. We gave out over $300,000.
Wow. Wow. It went, and you said maybe August or sometime
I think
this
it's
summer.
August the 10th. I think it is.
Okay, that's a big deal.
I'll let you know.
Please.
But you know what was sad? I had more people who read the advertisement who came from Woodstock, Locust Grove, all over. I didn't get a lot of people from Clayton.
Oh, we're going to change that.
I'm going to broadcast it.
AeroTraveler's going to help you change that, Mayor.
Thank you. And
Trust
I tell you what, even if I had to go on 138 and 85 and do a split with a sign, they got to come.
Well, listen, man, I love to help you, and I think that's one of our roles in the region, to help be a facilitator, a conduit, to get information out, and to play a role in advancing, young kids' futures, their career pathways, talent pipelines, and it kind of leads me to really my next question.
One last thing in that regards, forgive me, is the fact that we have entertainment and everything for the children. We teach them miming. We have cheerleading, soccer, got a skateboard park now, $5 million park.
Oh, that's a big deal
football,
for the kids.
baseball, everything. We got all of that. But it takes more than athletics. You need to have the whole rounded person.
Well-rounded, absolutely.
So now we have COBOL and teaching computer.
I love that. Really?
We're doing a whole conglomerate, and we have a lot for the seniors.
Wow. See, and that's the element that sometimes, when we're talking, gets overlooked, right? Our seniors in the community, what are the amenities? What are the extracurricular things we're doing to keep, their quality of life up to or above subpar, right? So I love the fact that you mentioned that.
And the other thing is that to keep us honest, we now got an ethics board.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Ethics board one time. All right.
Just like Cheryl Underwood said, I'll holler.
Oh, Cheryl Underwood. So you know what? And when we were talking about the kids and careers and opportunities, it makes me ultimately think about, from an economic development standpoint, the type of development that the city is looking for, the type of companies or jobs that the city is looking to attract. Would you mind expounding upon to our listeners and viewers about what type of companies and jobs that the city would like to see, the type of development you guys are looking to target for the city?
Yes, I would love to have IT. I would love to have, we got focus jobs coming in now, workforce.
Right.
We have those coming in, tutoring. And we just had a young lady open up one for tutoring and all of that. Anything doing with clerical. I don't have the space to do anything warehouse.
Right.
And all of that. We were going to try to get the Lowe's to do that. But the people that own Lowe's wouldn't rent it to anybody but a church.
Really?
And the church that's going in there is phenomenal. They're going to do a lot of community services and everything. But we're really trying to get families together in connectiveness. And in regards to those jobs, we can't get a 5-star restaurant because a lot of them look at our census to see the income.
Per capita income.
And they're trying to do that. But we've gotten, I'm not going to do no plug, but we've gotten some good restaurants that's making a lot of money.
Well, 2020 census is coming out, so we're getting ready to change some of that
stuff,
right?
But I need to figure out how we going to get parking we had a doctor's office open up, and we were able to finagle that to get parking for that. And we got a lot of medical things, and we try to partner with them. In fact, we donated $1.2 million to Southern Regional Hospital to keep them open.
Now, that is amazing.
Yeah, because if they close, then all the doctor's offices closing. That would be a domino effect.
Big time domino. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mayor.
Yeah, and see, a lot of people don't understand a balanced budget, and I haven't raised taxes, and we in the council, is not me by myself, is that that's huge.
It's massive. It's massive.
And we have environmental services and environmental court now. They're going to go around, and if you got your car parked on your yard and you got sheets to the window, they come down. Who said we got to live like that? No, that environmental court, you don't want to do right, we ain't going to beg you.
Well,
But after the third time, you go into court and you're going to pay a big fine.
well, it's time to ante up at that point, right? Well, Mayor, that speaks a lot about your leadership, right, and your vision and what you're creating for the city of Riverdale, which I think is huge, especially a balanced budget. And you're also supporting the anchor institution in the county with Southern Regional. I mean, that definitely does not need to go without being restated. So I just want to thank you for that, Mayor, to you and council, to be quite honest, because that is what we consider true leadership. And for those companies, well, Mayor, you want to mention something?
One last thing I forgot, baby. You know I'm 70, so
Hey,
I
man,
have
hey.
to catch it when it comes.
You saw I caught it. I said, come on, Mayor, let's do it.
This year, my greatest pride of everything that I've done so far, the Women's History Month, the Attitude, the carnivals that we bring there, the concerts, Wind Down Thursdays, and all those things that we do. My greatest feat has been that I raised the money to give scholarships, and again, not the city money, trophies and certificates, and I spoke at 10 graduations to present them and to motivate at those graduations this year.
Wow.
And every year for the last 7 years. And that's my greatest feat, because I don't want the kid that got all the bling on and got all the scholarship. Give me that child that pulled his or herself up by the bootstring and made it. That's who I give it to.
You know what? That separates a lot of people is opportunity, Mayor. And, you know, you've continued to illustrate that. And I'm sure it's not only the kids that you blessed this year, but I'm sure there are kids before who are probably listening or communicating to others on how that impacted their lives. You just never know how that one step, that one opportunity could totally revolutionize someone's thought process or hope or aspiration to do greater things. So I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm hoping our listeners are hearing this stuff, right? Because this is big.
So.
This is massive. So so how long have you been doing this, man? Is this the first, second year? How long have you been doing the scholarships?
7 years.
7 years. Wow.
But I think I believe in what the words say. If I don't exalt myself with it, and stay humble, he'll exalt me. So I never put it in the newspaper. I never put it on the news.
Yeah, because I never heard that. That's why I wanted to restate it.
I just do what I do.
Wow. Well, you know, those are the best leaders right there. When you move in silence and, you know, ultimately it rings like even bigger volumes when it actually resonates, right? So just like today, trust me, it will resound. And I can't wait to see next year when you've got the next young student who's being the recipient of this opportunity. So.
Well, I pray they reelect me, then I'll do it. But even
That's a plug. Reelect Mayor Dixon.
Oh, Lord. But this is my adage, and this is in my heart. And my mom, the Indians used to say, if you look a man in his eye, he know you ain't lying. Even if God didn't bless me and it was my season to leave, I'm still going to do that.
That's right.
Nothing going to stop me from doing
That's
that.
right. It's not the city's money. Okay, this is your money
I'm
you're
raising that money, and I'm going to do it because you have to have the love of the people in your heart and show them by example and teach them. If you're willing to make a step, I am too.
That's some real words, Mayor. True servant. That's exactly what I hear today. Let me ask you something, Mayor. I know we talked about a lot. Is there anything that we didn't talk about today that you want to make sure our listeners hear or come away with? Just want to make sure we hit all the points.
That we can't be on a pity party. It's easy to do.
Yes, it is.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, I found myself in them too.
But if you trust, he always has a way of showing you who he is.
That's right.
And coming through at the last moment. Like I got a house, I've been in TVs and magazines galore. That's materialistic.
Yes, it is.
But when I can tell somebody, they come to my office crying, and I'm able to assist them or give them some guidance, because you can't tell me if you ain't never lived it sometimes. But I've lived it, so I can tell them what it's like.
Man, what's your vision for the city of Riverdale? What would you like to see when you're, when it's all said and done, your legacy, what would you like to see the city, the state of the city when you're done?
That we overcame the obstacles and the stereotypical typing that they did to us.
I know.
That we are a viable city, and we didn't allow our zip code to make us, because I love them citizens of Riverdale. When I was at the graduation, speaking at one of the graduation, one of the man told me, Mayor Dixon, I'm going to meet you at Anna Laura's when we get through. That's when we'll be meeting that evening. but that's what I want it to be, a home environment, a city where people loved.
So, Mayor, in that regard, I think from the Aerotropolis perspective, I think our mission is to ultimately help that goal come to fruition, right? Whether it's the perception that, or the story that continues to be told about our region and our area, for those who are not even in this region, in this area, doing anything but continue to kind of control their narrative of what we're doing and what's happening here. That's one of our objectives. Our goal is to help attract those opportunities that you're looking for those young adults. That they are ultimately able to meet their expectations and exceed them with the quality of life that we all anticipate, and what we're seeing and experiencing every day here. And so our mission is to help you do that, Mayor, as an organization.
I need you to, because the negativity about our educational system in Clayton County is terrible. That's not true. Riverdale High School in my city graduated 80%.
Let them know, Mayor.
Let them know. And people going to college, not on just athletic, but academics. And winning all kinds of sports. Church Street Elementary School, oh my God. All those smart children. And then at the schools in Clayton County, which North Clayton, Drew, and all of them, when I spoke at that graduations, out of every one of those schools, their seniors were graduating with their associate degrees.
My goodness.
Come on now.
Let him know, man.
Won't he do it?
He will.
They graduated with their high school and their associate degree, going to Tech, Georgia, Purdue, MIT, and everything.
Straight out of Clayton.
That's
what I love, man.
That's what we love.
That's right. Mayor, listen, how can they find you, Mayor? I know they've heard a lot of information today. Because you literally, if I had a collection plate, I'd put it out there to the audience.
Oh, my Jesus.
But I would love for them to understand how to find you, right? Whether it's your website or your email address. How can they get in contact with Mayor Dixon?
Mayor_EW Dixon, Dixon, at riverdalega.gov, or call my office at 770-997-8989. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and what that thing? Instagram.
LinkedIn, There you go. The gram.
But I'm on there. Now, don't ask me my addresses. I just know I'm on there. I'm going to tell you the truth and shame the devil. But I'm on there. And I hope somebody heard something I said today that can bless them, because that make me go sleep good at night when I say, Lord, did I help one somebody?
Well, Mayor, I want to tell you that we've got some strong listenership and viewers. So I'm almost certain somebody heard you today. And remember, this will be in repeat. So whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, your voice and your legacy will continue to be heard. So I just want to thank you, Mayor, for taking time out today, out of your busy schedule, blocking this time out to come hang with Aerotropolis and our podcast, and allowing our viewers to have an up close and personal with you today. So I just want to thank you for that.
Well, I'm proud of you guys, because Aerotropolis is moving forward, the airport moving forward.
That's right.
And so you guys are, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, man.
As a young man, I could be your mama.
Don't let them know, man. Don't put it out there like that.
But you guys are really doing, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for thinking enough of me to let me do this.
Absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way. Trust
Thank
me, man.
you.
You know that. Well, listen, our viewers, you just had an opportunity to really experience greatness today with Mayor Evelyn Dixon, who has been a true leader in our region. And so now that you've heard from the woman first about her testimony and her future and what she envisions for not only Riverdale, but for Clayton County, and our goal to help bring that mission to fruition, is our objectives here today. So we want to thank you all for joining us on the Aerotropolis Atlanta podcast. I am Shannon James, your president and CEO, and we cannot go without thanking our sponsors with the Development Authority of Clayton County, who continue to be great leaders and ambassadors for our mission and objectives to bring our region to be more economically competitive. I want to thank you for joining us today, and we want to continue to help you land here and take off.